Hey everybody, Corey here. We just got home from work, and today, right now, we are going to go over chapter 16 of our lovely book, The Science of Being Great. But before we get started, I just want to share a little bit about our day. Today a good buddy of mine that I work with, his name is Joe. He's the mechanic at the LA Fitness, and he has very high aspirations, and I really like hanging out with him because we get to talk and have really good conversations because we get to share each other's ideas. We had a lot of things happen today, and it was very interesting. But he came to me this morning, like we were talking how he's doing. He was a little like, he was having a weird day, and we were talking about it. So I started asking him, like, what is he doing now that he's not doing like he was before? Because he was talking like these last few weeks he just hasn't really been happy like he would normally be. So I was asking him, like, what is he doing now that he's not doing before? Because the things we do make us happy as well. Whatever it is you're doing that involves a lot of happiness. Okay, that is why finding work that you love to do is very important, because work is going to fill up a huge part of your life. That is why it's important to do what you love to do, because it's going to keep you happy and you won't be so stressed out. Remember what the cortisol hormone does, okay? When you're stressed, you're releasing cortisol in the bloodstream, and that breaks down your body. That's why people get sick, because they're so stressed out. And then the people that are doing what they love to do, they have tons of dopamine and serotonin and all those good things being released into their bloodstream, leaving them feeling good and more of a positive force. But continuing from where we were, he's been focusing a lot on his finances, his businesses, his investments, like what he's gonna do in order to make money. Like he's focusing a lot on trying to for the end result of something, and what I was telling him was his eagerness. Like, I understand he's so eager. Like, I get it. Like, I was too. I still am at times. You're eager for something to happen, especially when you really want it to happen. That's why patience is so important. Remember the law of growth. Things run along the law of growth, and things grow at they have their own specific point of hour, and they grow along specific lines, and they have their own time to sprout. That is why you need to be patient, and you need to keep focused and watering that specific thing. But his eagerness, I was talking about his eagerness. You need to step back and, focus more on his idea of doing something. Remember Earl Nightingale, what he said: success is a progressive realization towards a worthy ideal. He took his eye off of the idea and he started looking at the results. Like, the results will come, you guys. The results will come, but you got to be patient and you got to keep pressing forward. That is why it's so important to keep your mind focused on the idea of what you are doing. Okay, because if you start doing something, and every 2 weeks you look to see how much results you've gotten, chances are that's not really, you're gonna fall into that, like, okay, why isn't this happening? Why isn't it working? Okay, stay focused on the idea. Because remember, we embody that which we imagine. We embody that which we visualize. We embody that which we are consistently thinking about the most. Okay, and when we're consistently thinking about the idea, that is the direction that we are moving towards. Okay, because when we stop and take a look at the results, we're not moving towards the idea anymore. Okay, because we're looking at what it has brought to us when we still have tons and tons to give. Remember, when you're building something, you're starting from the bottom, literally from the very bottom. Okay, the very beginning stage, you are going to be giving. You are going to be making the sacrifice. You are going to be staying up late working, making videos, reading the books, doing the things necessary to get you to the next level. Because remember, success is an unfoldment of progressive realization towards a worthy ideal. So keep that vision in your mind, keep that idea that you have, and don't lose sight of it, okay? Don't worry about any results that seem to be coming or don't seem to be coming. Okay, remember, things happen at their own appointed hour. It will ripen and it will flower and manifest itself in your life when the time is right. Remember, the universe has the perfect timing. And continuing from there, after that, he was saying he felt so much better. Like, that's what he needed to hear. And even after that, he was really calm. And I'm a firm believer that everything happens for a reason. I got a manifestation reminder. There's an app I have. It's called From Your Creators. They're a very, very great and inspiring channel. I encourage you to go check them out. They have really great books for you to listen to, really great reads to catch up on. But they have an app and it's free, and you get to type in your own affirmations, and they like you could set it 1, 2, or 3 times out of the day that the affirmation will pop up and remind you of something. But one of my affirmations was there are no such things as accidents, and that had came up. And me and Joe, we ended up hanging out because he was out of work and I was on my break. We were hanging out and we were talking like all of this, and he has whiteboards. Like, I write tons on my walls. I have a little whiteboard. Like, he has 2 big whiteboards that he writes on. And hey, we were talking about like ideas and things, and in our own group, like, how cool would it be to have our own group of just individuals? We get together and we talk about our ideas, like our own little, like our own mastermind group. That's what we were talking about. Like, dude, let's start a mastermind group. Like let's formulate an idea to bring to the world, to represent what we are, what a lot of people are, like, and everything else will come from that idea, inspiring people, motivating people, educating people. All the things that we want to do is going to come and just be like a branch from this idea that we're trying to stem forth and bring to fruition. And we were talking a lot about like starting our own group. And the funny thing about it is we were climbing a mountain in Moreno Valley. This mountain is called Mount M. Mastermind, Mount M, and we were climbing up Mount M, and we were talking about our mastermind group, and it's crazy. And then we made it a point like, hey, if whoever wants to join our group, they have to climb this mountain, because we were climbing the mountain, and yeah, sure enough, everything that happened today made me realize like how much we've really grown, I guess you could say, like from where I was since I started reading these books to where I am now, from going through the mental chemistry, through how the mind works, through the Instant Millionaire, through all of these books, The Science of Getting Rich, The Science of Being Well, The Science of Being Great, and we're finishing up on this one right now. And then reading over the chakras, and there's a lot of things that we, would really love to share. And then, yeah, after today, it made me realize, like, I guess I know I had said this in my other videos, like, there's a reason why you are thinking about it every day, that you feel you can do, that you have the power to do, whatever you desire to do, it was given to you, like, it's a desire being manifested through you because you have the power to bring it about. And yeah, after today, all this felt more real to me, I guess you could say. It's not like it wasn't before, but the fact that I was actually the one to help somebody out, who has his own high aspirations and high goals and his own ideals, and someone who shows great promise in the future for what he could provide this place, this world, what all of us could provide this world, because we're all here to leave something behind. We're all here to make this world a better place. That is what we're here for. We were created to create, just as God creates. He has given you that power. It is written that we are gods, that we have the power to do what we want to do. There is one Spirit, and man has been given the Spirit of God. You and I are that Spirit expressing itself through this being. So I just wanted to share that really quick with you guys, because today was a really, really interesting day. So let's continue with part 16. Some further explanations. We go back here to the matter of the point of view, for, besides being vitally important, it is the one which is likely to give the student the most trouble. We have been trained, partly by mistaken religious teachers, to look upon the world as being like a wrecked ship, storm-driven upon a rocky coast. Utter destruction is inevitable at the end, and the most that can be done is to rescue perhaps a few of the crew. This view teaches us to consider the world as essentially bad and growing worse, and to believe the existing discords and inharmonies must continue and intensify until the end. It robs us of hope for society, government, and humanity, and gives us a decreasing outlook and a contracting mind. This is all wrong. The world is not wrecked. It is like a magnificent steamer with the engines in place and the machinery in perfect order. The bunkers are full of coal, and the ship is amply provisioned for the crews. There is no lack of any good thing. Every provision omniscience could devise has been made for the safety, comfort, and happiness of the crew. The steamer is out on the high seas, tacking hither and thither, because no one has yet learned the right course to steer. We are learning to steer, and in due time will come grandly into the harbor of perfect harmony. The world is good and growing better. Existing discords and inharmonies are but the rollings of the ship incidental to their own imperfect steering. They will all be removed in due time. This view gives us an increasing outlook and an expanding mind. It enables us to think largely of society and of ourselves, and to do things in a great way. Furthermore, we see that nothing can be wrong with such a world or with any part of it, including our own affairs. If it is all moving on towards completion, then it is not going wrong. And as our own personal affairs are part of the whole, they are not going wrong either. You and all that you are concerned with are moving on towards completeness. Nothing can check this forward movement but yourself, and you can only check it by assuming a mental attitude which is at cross purposes with the mind of God. Another explanation that I would like to throw in with what he just said right there. Nothing can check this forward movement but yourself. Remember that principle of power within you, consistently urging you to move towards the upper way, consistently urging you to advance. But you still have that choice. Remember that principle of power within you is God urging you. It is you. It is your real nature. It is the real part of you that wants to move forward and grow. I have been doing this for so long. Let's grow from it and move on, okay, so we can get more things out of life that has been given for us to get from life, okay? And you can only check it by assuming the mental attitude, and you could also check it by, choosing not to do it, okay? You have been given the power to choose. You could choose to grow like you so desire to. Some people don't, some people do. Either or, there's nothing wrong with it. Remember, we are all our own people, and we can't meddle with other people's practices, okay? We have our own practices. We have our own visions and goals and dreams. Remember, our own personal universe in here. And we're doing our best to take what we have in here to externalize it out here, because that is what all these great people do. That is what all these people did that made a difference in this world, and that is what it is necessary for us to do as well. You can only check it by assuming a mental attitude which is at cross purposes with the mind of God. You have nothing to keep right but yourself. If you keep yourself right, nothing can possibly go wrong with you, and you can have nothing to fear. No business or other disaster can come upon you if your personal attitude is right, for you are a part of that which is increasing and advancing, and you must increase and advance with it. And also another thing to add, nothing can come upon disaster except your own personal attitude. Remember, you are the fountain, you are the embodiment, you are the source of your environment. Okay, remember, we have the power to create our environment. We are the masters of our destiny. We are the captains of our own soul, but we will only be that until we control what is happening in here, and we do what is necessary to take what we have in here and express it out here. Remember, actions, actions, actions. You must take the necessary actions to create the environment you want. Remember, it is action which moves this dream rock, and if I wanted to move the dream rock and have it right here, then I just switched my environment. Okay, likewise with you. There's a lot you can do with the power of your mind. Remember, ideas, idealization, visualizing, manifesting, okay, all these are spiritual activities. Spirit is what creates the body. Something I have on my Instagram right now. The spirit moves the body moves the world. I just thought I'd throw that in there. Let us continue. Moreover, your thought form will be mostly shaped according to your viewpoint of the cosmos. If you see the world as a lost and ruined thing, you will see yourself as part of it, and as partaking of its sins and weaknesses. If your outlook for the world is as a whole is hopeless, your outlook for yourself cannot be hopeful. If you see the world as declining towards its end, you cannot see yourself as advancing. Unless you think well of all the works of God, you cannot really think well of yourself. And unless you think well of yourself, you can never become great. I repeat that your place in life, including your material environment, is determined by the thought form you habitually hold of yourself. When you make a thought form of yourself, you can hardly fail to form in your mind a corresponding environment. If you think of yourself as an incapable, inefficient person, you will think of yourself with poor or cheap surroundings. Unless you think well of yourself, you will be sure to picture yourself in a more or less poverty-stricken environment. These thoughts, habitually held, become invisible forms in the surrounding mind stuff, and are with you continually. In due time, by the regular actions of the eternal creative energy, the invisible thought forms are produced in material stuff, and you are surrounded by your own thoughts made into material things. Now that is by far the most beautiful paragraph that I have read in this chapter. I want to read this again to you, okay? Also, if you haven't been with us in the Master Key System, you need to check it out, okay? Charles F. Hannell even talks about this as well, because the invisible substance, Wallace D. Wattles refers to it as the original substance, okay? Charles refers to it as the universal consciousness, okay? And this consciousness, he talks about, there is only one. And when we think, we are shooting out these roots inside the universal consciousness, and this consciousness acts upon those thoughts, bringing them towards us. That is how our environment responds and reflects what we are thinking. And how Wallace D. Wattles says it right now, these thoughts, habitually held, become invisible forms in the surrounding mind stuff. Remember, we are surrounded by a mind, the universal consciousness, the original substance, a substance that is conscious and is able to think. This intelligence, this energy that is permeating everything is conscious itself, and it's able to think. It is the cosmic being. It is the mind of God. It is God. And you know what? This intelligence became our own intelligence. We are this intelligence. Remember, there is only one, embodied within all, living in all, expressing itself through all. It is through us that it is learning about itself. In the surrounding mind stuffs, and we are with you continually. So you are surrounded by your own thoughts. In due time, by the regular actions of the eternal creative energy, remember, you become an expression of that creative energy. The invisible thought forms are produced in material stuff. You take on the form, and you are surrounded by your own thoughts made into material things. Remember, when you take on the form, you take the actions of that form. And whatever actions you take will determine your environment. See nature as a great living and advancing presence, and see human society in exactly the same way. It is all one, coming from one source, and it is all good. You yourself are made from the same stuff as God. All the constituents of God are parts of you. Every power that God has is a constituent of man. You can move forward as you see God doing. You have within yourself the source of every power. And that is the end of chapter 16 of The Science of Being Great, with some further explanations. And one thing to you guys, we have the ability to think. We can think anything. That is that is how we are creators. Because we can think like any other creature can. Remember, we are intelligence. That is what we are. A substance that is intelligence. And the more intelligent this substance becomes, the more it will be able to create in the external world, because it's thinking more and more. Remember, the higher level you receive, the more you raise your level of thought, the more ideas you will be able to receive. Remember, we create that circuit within our brain. Remember, our brain is the antenna, and we can receive any thought that has ever been in existence. We just have to form the circuit within our own mind, and we will be able to receive it. Wow. You are a creator, my friend. And with that being said, you guys, thank you for watching this chapter. I really need to eat something, so this guy's got to get some food. And with that being said, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you on the other side of the galaxy.